A little to this way, a little to that way, and on and on and on and on. All right, guys. First of all, sound check. Sound check. I told you I had trouble with your sound division there. Uh, Kimberly was telling me that blame yourself because I'm my sound man, and she also said you're also your cameraman and you're your own lighting director. I was about ready to tell her that in that case, me and the gang are going to get together and go union. Oh boy, got 12 of you in. I'm just going to hem haw here for a few minutes, folks, and I'm sorry for that. Let me see. How am I sounding? I honestly know nothing about the current state of Russia. Okay, good, Jersey Devil. Uh, let's see. How is the sound quality? Kimberly's asking. I am too. Sounds great. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Oh, by the way, Dan, I couldn't turn off YouTube because I'm on YouTube, but I'm hardwired into the YouTube app. There's if I turn that's what I tried to do is turn the sound down and my mics, which are in my ears right now, of course, didn't work, and I guess it was picking up. I stream from an iPad, right? I have an iPad Pro, and it serves both as my monitor, my camera, the whole deal, right? And so we've had this problem in the past, but it hadn't raised its ugly head for months. We thought we had pretty much canceled out every all the problems for that. But I'm glad to see some of you are finding your way back in. We've got 12 watching. That's sad. We had up in the 20s, well into the 20s, when we ran into problems. But we're going to give everybody a few moments to kind of find us here, right? I'll do an intro and then I'll kind of reiterate some of it. As we go along. Let me grab my notes because I had to turn everything off in order to reboot. And I appreciate any of you who are here after, uh, this. Kimberly told me that she was having trouble finding the uh, the news stream, and I do know that the algorithm kicks them out minutes later and everything. So we may get some folks finally finding it. Of course, we probably lost some folks who said enough of these shenanigans. This is why I don't like streams. But tonight we're going to be talking about Rush. Okay. They are or have announced that they are touring in 2026. They've already added shows to this thing. And on top of all of that, I can guarantee you they will add more. But the question really is how in the hell are they touring? Neil Peart passed away in 2020. And Rush is also one of those bands that I kind of consider a legacy band. I always say that a legacy band, right? And For me, a legacy band is somebody who's so well defined by a core membership. Now, Neil wasn't their first drummer. Their first album got great reviews without Neil, but and is still considered one of their better albums on lists and everything. But he was their drummer for 40, what was it, 40 plus years, and he was also their lyricist, folks. Okay. So he wasn't just one third of the band, he was like two-fourths of the band in some ways, if you think about it. Uh, he, he, he was their lyricist and drummer, you know. So anyway, when I think of this, my first reaction, and by the way, uh, what I did is I pinned a video that I did back in January. It didn't get a lot of views, about 1,300 views. And this was when I saw an article by Alex Lifeson right after Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee performed at the uh, Taylor Hawkins Memorial or tribute show, right? And they got together with a couple of drummers there, and they did a great act, a tribute to Taylor and all of that, and they really loved it. They loved doing it and everything, and that video. When I say I pinned it, folks, that means it should show up as the first video, whether you're a subscriber, because I double pinned it, or if you're just a viewer. Right, go to my channel and you can find that video is 9 months old, but it is such an important key component to what's going on here. All right, I will read to you a quote from Lifeson that I covered in that video. Lifeson said that he absolutely loved performing live and doing Rush material with Geddy Lee. He was excited. He said that it felt good to be backstage with the musicians. That he felt the vibe, and he was really excited. Well, here's what he was quoted as saying. He says the energy was fantastic at that show, and some days I want to go out and tour again. And some days I don't. For 40 years, Rush included Neil. And I don't think that putting some version together would have the same magic. Rush went out on a high note, and I guess I'd rather be remembered for that legacy than returning as the top Rush tribute band. End of quote. Now, he did say that he loved it. Matter of fact, he was quoted as saying, I couldn't even tell you where that would go," is what he was quoted as saying. And that was in relationship to the fact that him and Geddy Lee were meeting every single weekend and jamming. And not only that, but recording. And I surmised at the time that I could smell a tour in the offing, and evidently it has happened. All right. They're going to be performing 35 songs. So this is going to be a 2 hour plus show, and they're going to be doing it with Anika Nilles. Now, a lot of you may be calling her, I have to look at the original spelling. Yeah, Anika Niles. A lot of YouTube content creators are calling her that, but I looked it up, and evidently the proper pronunciation of this female drummer that will be touring with Rush is Anika Nilles. So keep that in mind. Uh, I was not aware of her um, too much. I'll tell you why. Jeff Beck is one of my favorite guitarists in rock. He's in my top five and threatens to get to the number 3 spot every once in a while with me. I love him, one of my favorite guitarists of all time. But when I was putting together my channel in 2022, see, 20, I was happening in 2021 for a bit. Jersey Devil. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Jersey. And I'll get to my shout outs here in a minute. I'll get to you in just a minute. Remind me to get back to Jersey because I'm working on a weird device here, baby. I will. But anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? In regard, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's all right. I'm sure it'll return any minute now. Anyway, let's get back to the whole idea. When um, uh, Alex was talking about, jamming with Geddy. They even hinted they were looking at drummers and everything. And we would think that at that point we would have gotten like auditions. A lot of bands have done that over the times. And there are some fans out there that are a little disappointed that their favorite drummer wasn't included. And now I've regained my train of thought. I was talking about Jeff Beck because that's where Anika really came to, I guess, rock's attention in the mainstream. And I've been looking at her performances with Jeff all day in preparation for this stream. And I got to tell you, she is fantastic. All right. Now, if we're just going to talk about whether she's a pretty good drummer for a chick, uh, that's got to go by the wayside, that argument. She's just a damn great drummer, male or female.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, I was showing Kimberly some of her drumming before we got on.
Absolutely fabulous.
And Kimberly plays a bit of percussion.
Oh, yeah,
You
but
know,
nothing like her.
no, nothing like her. Well, very few drummers are like her. She reminds me of a lot of the like almost return to forever kind of drumming you'd hear, and that period. But she's fantastic. So let's just stop right there when we think about what she has to offer. All right. So we're going to take the stream from that point. They're touring in 2026. We Some of us kind of knew this was coming, right? Some of us are disappointed in the choice of Anika as the drummer because they had some other drummers they thought would perform better, and we're going to talk about what Geddy Lee has to say about her style versus Neil Peart's. It's very interesting. But before we get to that, I did want to say a quick rest in peace to Chris Draga. Now, I always thought he was Dreha. I think I've mentioned that I thought the J was an H, kind of sound, but it's Draga. He died at 79 months before he turned 80. And some of you may know him as a photographer. He took this shot. I'm sorry for the backward image, but he took this shot off of this album. All right. And he was a photographer, but he was far more than that. He was the original rhythm guitarist and then later bassist for the rock band Yardbirds. And I was going to bring up a tribute kind of comment about him, a rest in peace to Chris on my last stream, but I didn't get to it. And anybody who saw my last stream, you'll know why. Now, I will say a real quick, nice and gentle troll alert. Okay. It's the new and improved me, straight from anger management. Okay. And, but expect them, folks. They've been quite, he's been quite active in the last 24 hours. And I took him to task on a couple of other streams. And so I fully expect him to raise his ugly head. He comes in many guises. You know how he usually comes in with a hey folks kind of comment, and then kind of semi-antagonistic, and then it grows. Yeah, and of course you know his name by several accounts he uses. So just be on the look out for that. See how gentle and nice and soft I was in handling that baby.
Yes, you were.
I thought I was very grown up. I deserve an ice cream after the stream.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You sure do.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
forget Jersey Devil.
Okay, yes, thank you. Before I go into that, I do want to get over to Jersey Devil because I'm on this weird device, and if I don't get it, it'll sneak up there and I won't be able to read it. Thank you so much. $2 super thanks. Only from Jersey Devil, and he says, only Zeppelin considered the drummer irreplaceable. And with Zeppelin, yeah, I'd have to say pretty much so. Although his son didn't do half bad replacing him for that one show. That's for sure. Now the channel has gotten up to 46,300 for about the fifth or sixth time. We'll see if it holds this time. But the real growth in the channel that just thoroughly amazed me, and I wanted to share this with you because it looks good for the channel. But this is a shout out to each and every one of you that's watching me right now, and to those who aren't catching this stream that have watched my videos. This channel, I am still, it'll be the 28th of this month where I am 4 years old as a channel, and it'll be February 15th of 2026 before I'm 4 years old as a rock channel. But let's take my start from October 28th until today. And we have reached now on your devices. It'll probably say 497, I think. But in my YouTube analytics, we've already reached it. I wanted to let you know. The channel has already received 12.5 million views. We just announced reaching 12 million, and we've already accrued another 500,000 views. And that's a shout out to each and every one of you. You're the ones that make that go, not me. We talked about people being unsubscribed or their notifications being turned off. I strongly suggest that each and every one of you check to see if you're still subscribed and that your notifications aren't turned off, and everything should go hunky dory. See how well behaved I am today, Kimberly?
Yes, you
I
are.
deserve two ice creams.
Just for your attitude. You're so positive tonight. That's awesome.
Mm. See, I'm such a sucker for a woman praising me. It's like I'm like a puppy dog. Um, I do want to remind you, I got a poll, and we're going to be covering that a bit tonight on this whole thing about Rush, okay? And I'm going to go over there, but I want to remind you, I've got a poll going. I think between 8 and 900 of you already voted. All right, I'll give you the results on that. So be sure to get your chance to get it in and everything. You've still got time before the stream is over for your vote to count, and I'll get a fresh count when I switch over there later on. So, what are my thoughts on this whole idea? Uh, First of all, just looking at her drumming, and I've seen her, I watched her, God, hours and hours of her drumming over the years, right? And all I can say is color me freaking impressed. She's great. Okay, so her pedigree, uh, what she has to offer as a musician on stage is impeccable. And I don't see any of the other drummers that were mentioned as being any better than her. Uh, Maybe closer in style to Neil Peart. And we're going to talk about what Geddy Lee thinks about Neil Peart's style versus Anika's style, right? But uh, is this even Rush? Now, Doc had a comment on the original stream saying, with Alex and Getty, they've got 66% of Rush. That's not exactly a tribute band, right? And yet, Alex Lifeson says he identified such a project 9 months ago as being nothing more than that. Yet they are touring as Rush. It's not like they're touring as Lifeson, Lee, and what is really, I want to say Niles, but Nilles, uh, a Rush tribute. They could have chose to do that, right? But no, they're touring as Rush. Okay. So the idea of, first of all, I will agree with each and every one of you who says that Neil Peart is irreplaceable. Of course he is. Of course he is. I don't care if you found a drummer that was technically 10 times better than him. That's not Neil. That's not Neil's style. That's not Neil's thumbprint. That's not Neil's feel, and anything in the future will not have Neil's lyrics unless they find some old notebooks lying around. Get ready for that, right? But at the same time, I find myself kind of excited about this concert. And you guys know me, I'm not really one to get excited about bands who have said goodbye, sayonara, and then coming back out of the woodwork to make a fast buck. And if both Alex and Getty are to be believed, this happened quite organically. They even used that word at one point. They were over jam. Alex would come over to Getty's studio, and they would jam every single weekend, and they would jam on Rush songs, some new ideas. They said they recorded along the way and everything, and it just seemed to kind of happen. And if you pressed Alex on his former
Oh,
statements.
hi, Michael Boswell just came in with a
Would you
super
read that for
thing.
me, baby?
Oh, yeah. He says, with Getty singing, it will feel like Rush.
Yes, yes, and we're going to be talking about that when we get to the poll too, Michael. Michael, I one of the reasons I was up late on the first stream was I was waiting for you to show up. I wanted to wrench you up, brother. But yes, and thank you so much for that kind super thanks. We're going to get to that here in just a minute, but. As a matter of fact, this is a good time to stop. All right, because I after this I want to get on to what Getty Lee has to say about Neil Peart style versus what Anika has to offer here, because that's the horse's mouth, or one of them, right? I guess there's two. This is a two-horse race, right? These days. But let me do. I have to reconfigure everything here because I shut down and redefined the laws of physics. These are people who gave the stream. We always do this, folks. These are the folks that are keeping this channel absolutely alive. I said I'd get into some of that stuff on Wednesday, but this is too big of a story. I want to stay on track tonight. We'll hold that off for um, a future Wednesday stream. How does that sound? But we do need the help. These guys are there to help us. My as we've already gotten two super thanks already. These are the ones that did it on the last show. I always give you a shout out from the last show. I also gave these folks their shout out on my latest video, which is a snippet from and as given permission by the man himself, Royce Eddings, a snippet of the Four Horsemen. So if you guys haven't seen that snippet, you might want to go over there. All right, and take a look at that. But Michael Boswell gave us a $2 super thanks. Rockin' Robin Bird, a $5 super thanks. Deuces Wild, a $20
Oh,
super
my
thanks.
goodness.
Oh
Honduras
my
is
goodness.
wild just
And he comes in with
of
what
course.
a $10 super thanks.
Oh, how
Thank you so much,
sweet.
Deuce. I'll be right with you, brother.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
didn't he do that on the last stream?
He did.
He did,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
Oh man, well timed. Yeah,
Deuce
well
always is
played,
well timed.
Deuce.
Yep.
Storm Cop came in. James, I love you, brother. $10 super thanks. Rockin' Robin Bird with another $2 super thanks, or actually a $2 super thanks added to the $5 she gave us. And Roy Settings from the Four Horsemen, a $10 super thanks, along with Jersey Devil. I saw him in the stream earlier. I hope he found his way over here. He gave us a $2 super thanks. And the Four Horsemen came in with another $5 super thanks. And Are You There came in at the last minute with a $2 super thanks, swinging the deuce hammer. And we certainly do appreciate it. Now, we get over here again to the idea with what's going on with Rush. So, my general thoughts on it was that, yeah, I have this kind of hard and fast rule about bands having enough members, first of all. And Doc Insomnia brings up the fact that 66% of this band is should be enough members. But then I get to my what I call my legacy bands, and I'm a little more hard lined. It's kind of like if the Beatles never broke up and Ringo passed away, heaven forbid, and John, Paul, and George got another drummer and went on as the Beatles. I don't think a lot of original Beatle fans would really see them as the true Beatles. It's just not John, Paul, George, and Ringo, right? And so I call these bands legacy bands, and I see them as kind of like, oh, don't touch them too much. And yet, at the same time, when you've got a drummer, like Led Zeppelin, lost John Bonham, and there's no replacing John Bonham any more than there is replacing Neil Peart for Rush, right? But they did come back with John's son, Jason, and did a great show. They could have toured on. I would have paid to go see it, even though to this day, it's not quite Led Zeppelin, but it is. And so I'm wondering if Anika's presence will be enough. It's not like she has a pedigree that reaches back to Rush, or does she? You see, because when she drummed for Jeff Beck was known for a lot of his stuff changing from his original blues roots stuff. And I saw the man, it wasn't unlike a lot of the beats we hear from Rush and everything. So I could see her at least in for contention. But what does she have to offer? Okay. Um, well, here's what Geddy Lee says. First of all, when he talks about Neil, here's what he says about Neil. Neil was a storyteller behind the kit. Every fill, every rhythm he played was like a bigger narrative. His drumming was like a symphony, layered, composed, and full of intention. Now keep that last word in mind. He said Neil approached drumming architecturally. He designed drum parts like he was building a cathedral. Now, what does he have to say about Anika? He says Anika approaches it more like a painter. She lets the colors blend more naturally. So is he saying she drums on the fly a bit? That almost sounds like what he's saying. Um, her sense of groove and time is impeccable. Okay, groove and time. So that the groove and time must be slightly different from Neil. I mean, he's saying what she has to offer, and he didn't mention this with Neil, right? Groove and time is impeccable, but she's also playful. Wasn't Neil playful? And I've got several DVDs of Rush live, right? And I can say, yeah, maybe he wasn't playful. Maybe he was busy building that cathedral that he was talking about. But that's what he says. She's playful, and she brings an incredible, fluid, organic energy to the music. She is spontaneous in a way that feels alive and immediate. I'm hearing that what she's saying is that uh, that we're going to get maybe a more fluid rendition of Rush songs. What do you guys think? All right, so that gets us over to my poll that I was talking about. All right, and let's just see where it is right now. Okay. So we have almost 900 of you have voted at this point. And the question to you was, how do you feel about Rush touring in 2026? Just a basic question, right? And it's the answers usually that gives you the opportunity to express yourself, right? In last place, 13% of you voted for I'll pass. Getty's voice is shot. Now, Getty's voice isn't what it was, but I don't know that I'd call it shot from what I've heard. Uh, I think he could work around it. I would like to see him go to a more first tenor approach and skip the high second tenor parts that he used to sing. There are cuts from Rush that I don't care for because he sings at an impossibly high tone and it almost drones me out. I like it when he sings more in the first tenor, high baritone range, and so as far as his voice being shot, no, McCartney's voice is shot, but I wouldn't say that Geddy Lee's voice is shot. It's changed. And with a new drummer, if he's smart and everything, and she's that experimental and live and willing to feel, I think we need to get more of that from Geddy Lee. And especially since Geddy Lee will be playing primarily bass. He'll be on keyboards for a few key songs because the fans expect it, but they're talking about hiring a keyboard player as well, right? So they've got that. Uh, then in second to last place, but nipping at second place is as a tribute, okay. But if this turns into a yearly debacle, no way. 20% of you One out of five of you have voted for that. You know, if this is a one-off tribute tour, and then we're done, kind of like what we expected from Led Zeppelin, I might vote for that. I might vote for that. You know, so they're not saying no. They're just saying as a tribute, tour this year. That's okay. Now, in second place came Rush is Dead. They died with Neil Peart. 22% of you, over one in five of you, voted that they are a legacy band and there's just no replacing any of them. If you don't have all of them, you don't have any of them, in their opinion. Over a fifth of you agree with that opinion. But in first place at 46%, it was a little higher about an hour ago. It was actually at 49%. So it slipped. So some contrarians are starting to come out. It's still, it's only a 20-hour poll. That's still young. They usually grow for 2 or 3 days, right? And so the number one response was, I'm excited. Anika Nilles is a great drummer. I always want to say Anika Nilles is a great drummer to honor Neil Peart. And if the tickets aren't too expensive and they're coming close enough, I am tempted for this one, folks. I really am. I don't know about what you guys think, but I think it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But
See, I have those rules. What are you saying, baby?
I think we should get to Deuce's comment.
Oh,
He's
okay.
wild.
All right.
You want me to read it, or you gonna
Yeah,
read it?
why don't you read it?
He says Bon and Pearl, Moon and Baker, four that stand on their own. I will say that it is cool uh, to see two best friends with supernatural talent to play on stage once again.
Wow.
Long live the professor.
Wow. I love it. Yeah, great comment. Absolutely. Great comment.
Yeah,
Oh, Dalek Lives Matters.
he's in. Yeah.
He says she must be something to keep up with Alex and Getty's instrumental jams. Yeah, I saw a video of them just jamming on one chord and they changed the tonal quality and everything. And they go, it's pretty hard to jam on just one chord, right? I've been watching a ton of their interviews. They're excited about this. And that's another thing. Um, Especially Alex is saying a whole lot that he really is feeling a need to play this. And I'm almost getting the vibe that they want to play with the set. That I think what we're going to get from Anika, see if any of you agree with me here. I think what we're going to get with Anika is she will replicate the signature drum beats that are expected to that I identify a song so much, and then anywhere else that she can start changing things up, I think that's where we're gonna uh, we might see something a little bit different. Now, if they're gonna just do this as a year, tour or 2 year tour, whatever it is that this thing winds up, because I can guarantee you, there's going to be more shows added if the guys have enough energy to extend it. uh, there's no immediate end to this kind of tour. This is one of the huge acts in rock and roll. All right, this is one of the icons of Mount Rock Olympus. There's no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, let me check here real quick. Uh, I thought that there we go. It's just not letting me do what I want to do these days, baby, and I'm getting frustrated as we go along here. But yeah, let's see. There we go. Yeah, I guess they didn't make the top 13 list. Oh no, they did. Good. Phew. You guys voted them as the eighth greatest classic rock band of all time. The eighth. With only Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, The Who, Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and the Beatles to beat them. Rush beat out Creedence Clearwater Revival, Queen, Yes, Genesis and Grand Funk Railroad, according to what you guys are thinking or have thought in the past with the channel, right? So that's kind of cool. Let me see if any of you are talking about. Will she be able to do all the chimes and all the bells and whistles that Neil did? Now, if you're talking about cymbal work, hi hat work, ride cymbal, and all of that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I watched her. Like I said, I've watched hours of her. This woman knows how to go to her symbols and make them a predominant part of what she has to offer. And yet there is absolute. See, this is how you can tell a great drummer. They do lots of cymbal work with no uh, scrims, kind of cheating on. The hi hat and the tom tom work, and that double bass drum, that double beat on the bass drum. She's doing it. You see her heels are high in the chair, right? And she's just playing it from the air. Watch some of her videos. She's a fantastic drummer. Okay. So, as far as whether they should even be doing this or not, that's another question. They've decided they're going to do it. What is going to be the musicianship? I saw them just do a jam on one chord. We know they're going to bring their best chops. They're not has-beens yet. Uh, if Neil Peart hadn't died, who knows? There may have been a comeback tour, or at least one big fond farewell tour. He had retired, but it was always a possibility. They were still in their prime for the most part, and they were still creating. And this isn't a creation, but this could be rather a very interesting interpretation of Rush. That's what I would want to see out of this. I don't want to see a mimic of Rush. First of all, Getty isn't going to be able to do the vocals he did in the original key on some of those songs. They're going to do 35, right? This is going to be over 2 hour performance. His voice is going to be taken to the limit, right? So get creative with that. Anika shows everything I've seen about her that she is more than capable of the chops, or at least the basic chops of Neil, that will identify the Rush sound. And she's got the fluidity that Geddy Lee was bragging about when he was talking about her. Royce is in the house.
Yes, he just got in.
The Four Horsemen's in the house.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Dan the man.
Dan the man. It's good to see you guys. Let's see. Deuces Wild. They were the ultimate touring machine back in the early days. Yeah, yeah, they sure were. Fast Eagle. I love to hear Getty and Alex write some new tunes. Find My Way, John. I guess he's talking John. Finding My Way and Working Man had that raw energy I love so much. Yeah. Let's see. Divining Dragons talking to Kimberly. I'm fading off to crash. All right.
Yeah.
Good night, Christian.
Yep.
Thanks for showing. I'm sorry we got to such a late start. We had a great audience. When this happens, it screws everything up. But the best way to do is just have a good time with what we got. I don't even know how many people. Well, we're close to 50 people. And with all the shenanigans that started, we're at 49, I see live. Thought I eyed over 50 a minute ago, but
we did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're over 50. All right, that's good. Especially, you know, uh, when you have a stream shutdown and then the algorithm won't spit it out fast enough, no matter what I do on this end. We had to go searching for this stream just so I could get on to this stream, right? Jersey Devil, how old is Getty now? I would think you would expect the 20 something Getty Lee won't be on stage. Got to be realistic. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I don't expect that from him. I expect his best at what he does. Hey, that's what I thought, what I expected with Paul McCartney. Okay, you can't sing Hey Jude anymore.
He's 72.
Let's sing.
Dan says he's 72.
Getty's 72.
Yeah.
He's a young man.
Yeah, he's a young man.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. 72? Why? I didn't know I was that close in age to the man. I had no idea.
Oh
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah, I don't keep up on rockers' ages except for like, the
Yeah.
Beatles. I'm pretty sure of where McCartney and
Yeah.
Ringo are.
Yeah.
83 and 85 at the time. Working Man put them on the map, says Deuces Wild. A radio show in Cleveland broke them in essentially. The working people of the city would relate so much to that song. Yeah, wasn't there a female that was involved in pushing them at that point in that area? Um, Deuce, I can't remember her name. I thought I read something about that a bit back. One woman who really pushed them in their early days, and they they yeah to this day they acknowledge that she was essential to them breaking into a big audience and everything. Randy Harbaugh, Donna Halper at WMMS, Deuces Wild. Correct, Michael. Okay, thank you. Yes, yes. Do you know her name? I forget her name. Let's see. Just the facts, man. Yes, a DJ from WMMS. Okay, so she was a DJ. Thanks for the further correction, Dan. Michael, David is loving his single and performances. Are you? Didn't David? Are you talking about Van Halen's? David? I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard it. Uh, let's see. Dalek Lives Matter. I love Doctor Who people. Uh,
Yeah.
I think we'll get a more subtle, funkier rush with full force of nature tsunami unleashed for dynamic effect now and then. Yeah, that you know what? Wow, I like your whole take on that, Dalek. I kind of without even thinking about it, I guess as I was reading, I'm kind of going, that's kind of like what I'm feeling, you know,
Yeah.
is let's really explore what they had to offer. They can't be what they were. Neil's not there. Getty doesn't have the higher end chops, but he still sings good. And they could really interpret this band um, and give it a great send off, and then say goodbye. Put a nice cap on the career. Don't drag this out forever. You've got a great legacy as it is. One of the few bands that have a relatively unstained legacy. And every time a band decides to, dip their toe back into the touring circuit waters, they run the risk of damaging their legacy. I've talked about such bands. The Eagles have damaged their legacy, uh, as far as I'm concerned, so much. A lot of their original fans don't even care for them anymore. You know, on the other hand, I love their old records. I'm gonna get all the old Eagle records. I have no problem with that, but I wouldn't pay a damn dime to go see them. I wouldn't cross the street to see them free, just out of curiosity. You know, and I once climbed a eucalyptus tree because I didn't have a ticket to see them. Okay, so um, they've damaged their legacy, at least with me. And I'm not the only one out there. And there are a lot of people who don't agree with me and will say, actually, their legacy is fine and they're extending it. And if that's what you believe, that's fine. It just, I don't feel that way. But it'd be interesting to hear if you guys do as well. But is Rush in danger of hurting their legacy here? Or is it an opportunity to enhance it? The ball is in their court, folks. The ball is just essentially right in their court. Fast Eagle, speaking of which, I need to go take the passage to Bangkok right now. My body is getting dangerously low on THC. Oh, poor fella. Well, may the aroma of life enhance your evening, brother. That's all I can say. Uh, Hey, the Four Horsemen. See, everybody's being so chatty here with each other. I love it. Royce, by the way, the Four Horsemen and Just the Facts Man, you see them in the comments. Those are two channels that I am very intimately connected with. They are the brother channels for this channel. On Sundays, It's first of all, you have Dan McNew from Just the Facts Man, and then you have Royce Eddings from the Four Horsemen. And Dan and I are two of the Four Horsemen. Dan is no, oh God, I'm going to forget it again. I I had it on the tip of my tongue. We're all named, we've named our steeds anyway, right? And so on Sundays, I just like today, I stream usually at 5 when I can stream at 5. It doesn't get shut down, then I have to restart. And I stream at 5 on Sundays, Sundays and Wednesdays, PST, that's Pacific Standard Time. I'm here in California, the great Central Valley of California. So adjust your times, your local time zones accordingly. And you should know pretty much when I'm up on streaming, even if YouTube doesn't notify you, right? That's why I try to be as consistent as I possibly can. And so on Sundays, I stream at 5. I only my Sunday shows usually absolutely fixed in at 1 hour. My Wednesday shows can go from an hour, hour and a half. They've gone over 2 hours. It depends on what my energy is, right? And so, but on Sundays, I have to get to the point and just get in and out real quick. And I wasn't quite able to do that this Sunday because a lot of shenanigans were in the wind, and I was dealing with that and trying to find a way to come on. I appreciate you guys putting up with me. I got a couple of uh, um messages from you folks, ear splitting, concerned about me because I was pissed. There's no doubt about it. And but that's me, folks. I'm quick to anger, quick to get over it. Right? That's me. And I just try to make sure my anger is based on
Warhorse.
righteousness rather than just being petty. Yeah, babe.
Roy said you were Warhorse.
I know I'm a war horse,
That's what you, but
but I couldn't remember
Warhorse.
Dan's tag, so I didn't want to bring mine up.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been fair to Dan, right?
Warhorse. And Royce's Resurrection.
He's resurrection. Yep. Uh,
That's cool.
oh, Conquest is Dan.
Is
Conquest, yes,
Yeah.
Conquest, Warhorse, and Resurrection. Royce is always the hope, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, after my Sunday streams, I cut it off right around 6. Sometimes I'll go 6:10 ish, 6:15. I think rarely I've gone that much, but at 6 o'clock usually, 5 to 6 kind of thingy. And then at 6:30, I'm one of the Four Horsemen uh, over at the Four Horsemen, right? And that's Royce Eddings' channel. So I encourage everybody to go on over there, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because then you'd know and be notified. If you miss my stream, you weren't thinking, and all of a sudden you turn on your phone or whatever device you watch YouTube on, and you see a notification of Royce, at least you'll catch us later on Sunday evening. And we always manage to supply you with about anywhere from 2.5 hours to 3 hours of entertainment, depending on how long Royce goes. With me, it's about an hour. Royce, about 2 hours. But sometimes he shuts it off at 90 minutes, sometimes an hour and 45 minutes. He's gone over. Depends. It all depends. But between us, you get over 2 hours of streaming, at least 2.5 hours of streaming. And we're dedicated to bring that to you folks every Sunday night. Let's see, 48 watching and 37 likes. Yeah, thank you. Gear Jam is encouraging everybody. I've got to get better at that, folks. Saying this kind of stuff right away, thumbs ups are important.
Oh,
There is no doubt
just
about
the
it.
facts
Oh my
man
goodness,
gave me for
Dan,
the super things.
give him a like.
Oh,
He
thank
says,
you,
I'm
Dan.
I'm very excited for this Rush tour, and we'll go to as many of the shows as possible. All right, Dan. Uh, there may be some concerns about Anika, but I trust Getty and Alex's decisions. Yeah, and but I'm watching her, and I'm seeing a possible match, Dan. And if you're capable of seeing them, and I don't get there, I'm going to be jealous. But thank you for that wonderful $10 super. Thanks, brother. Gary Spring, Dan the man. That's what he says. Dalek Lives Matters. I wonder if Rush will still do the comedy sketches for this tour. Hey, you know what? They did do a bit of a comedy sketch already. One of the reasons that Alex gave uh, uh, excuses that Alex gave for them even thinking of hiring an additional keyboard player was it'll give him and Getty a chance to dance to show off all their latest dance moves. And he looked right at Getty, and they kind of like an annoying wink of a joke. I included that on my short covering this. Because it had just come out. I just went out and made a quick short about it, and what does it mean? And I don't even know if I mentioned her name. I just may have been just at that point. I wasn't aware of her. Now I know people like Rick Beato. I saw Rush on their last tour, and I saw Jeff Beck on his last tour, and I saw him, and I knew her 4 years ago. I guess he's got a video. I knew. Well, yeah, you beat us all to the punch, brother. That's all I can say. Good on you, Rick. But I didn't know anything about her, and I'm relatively knowledgeable about rock in kind of a sort of piss poor sort of way. I hadn't heard of her, but I explained to you guys why. When she would have made noise that would have hit my stratosphere, I was focusing. See, it was in 2022 that Jeff Beck and her toured together, and I was just setting up the rock portion of this channel, and I was making Led Zeppelin after Led Zeppelin after Led Zeppelin video, Beatle after Beatle after Beatle video. Then finally got to Pink Floyd, started doing that, and then branching out. His tour was over by the time I even started thinking about mentioning Jeff Beck, when I started doing my favorite guitar list, because he's in my top five. And so that was over by the time I even did it. And when I did start mentioning, I started mentioning him from the Yardbirds forward, and we hadn't gotten to his 2020 tour just before he passed away. So I didn't know anything about her, but I did my research over the last 24 hours, probably closer to 48 hours, and I love what I see. Okay. Now, the whole question at this point is there a synergy between them? Now, they said they've already played with her and they love what they're feeling. They've never pretty much lied to us. They've always been pretty straightforward about what they're trying. If they wanted to record another album in a different way, they pretty much say, "Yeah, we're going to record this album in a different way." You know, they decided how they would reconstruct their music live as only a three-piece. They've done it their way. They are one of rock and roll's most major bands on planet Earth. And if we're not actually getting Rush, we're getting what I think is akin to what we got with Led Zeppelin in 2007, live at the O2, with Jason Bonham. Okay. Or if not quite that close of a connection, because after all, Jason Bonham had a blood connection. We've got this ghost of Jeff Beck, and Jeff Beck style, especially when he started going more jazz and prog oriented, was not unlike Rush at all. I always heard the connection. I always felt the connection from them. All right, folks, I got to a few of you tonight. I had fun. I'm so sorry we had a hiccup on the show to begin with. I want to thank each and every one of you that refound me. And for those of you who will refind me later and watch, the rewind of this stream, I want to thank you for showing. Most of my views on my stream come from people who view it secondhand. They're not here for the live portion of the stream, but because they got lives. But they always catch me on the fly. And for those of you who are seeing the second run, thank you very much. And all of you folks that made that 12.5, 12.5 million. I mean, that's such a leap. I if somebody had told me 4 years ago, you know what, Michael, in 4 years, your channel will have garnered 12.5 million views, I would have gone, get the heck out of here. No, seriously, I would. You know, that wasn't
Oh,
even
the
in
four
my
horsemen just came
sphere.
in
Oh my
with a
goodness.
super thing.
Oh, Royce,
Royce,
you
thank
lovely, lovely lad. Ya. Oh my
you.
goodness. The tribe is family. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And you know, it's we have a core of about 5,000 of my subscribers, of tribal members who watch tons of my stuff. If they don't watch every video, some of them will watch my shorts. If they're not watching my shorts or my video, you're catching me up here. And that's way, my mama always told me there's one more way than there's more than one way to skin a cat, that type of thing. Uh, and that's the way I approach it. I happen to know that some people like portions of my live streams presented as a dedicated video. And so if there's a portion of tonight, I may share that later, right? And but they don't come to the live show at all, or even watch the reruns. Some are purely live, and if they miss it, they watch the reruns. And this is totally their gig. They never watch my shorts. I have people who only watch my shorts, and so that's where the channel has garnered so many wonderful views. I would never have thought that humanly possible for little old me. And you guys made that possible. All I can do is present the product. You guys are the ones that are going to have to, decide, well, yeah, I'll give him a chance. Why not? He looks pretty pitiful. All right, folks. Oh,
Oh,
Michael
my,
Boswell.
Michael Boswell came in with a super
You
thing.
drive us wild.
That's
We'll
amazing.
drive you crazy.
Oh, that's so
I
nice.
love it. Thank you, Michael. And he swings the deuce hammer so eloquently. Get in early, Michael. I was waiting for you. I really was. That's why I was up late on the first one because I had told you get in early and I'll because he's got a wrench over on Royce's show. And I wait a minute. Let me see if I can do something here. Let me see. Since we're here, before I shut down, let's see if there's a possibility I can do this. I don't know, Michael. It's a mystery. We'll have to see. Okay, live. Why, there I am, and you don't want to let me in that way. This is always okay. There we go. And let me see if I can find Michael. Oh, it's giving me the other one. Yeah, who would have known? Okay. That's the original one. Brother, I tried. I tried. But if you get in early, I always try to communicate. Sometimes I can't stay in the communication with you all the time because I'm prepping for the stream and everything. But like I said last time, we'd love to have you in as a tribal marshal. You've more than proven your worth. Let us knight you,
Oh,
young man. Okay? All right, folks, what do you think, baby? Time to shut this thing down?
yeah.
Yeah?
Time to say goodnight,
Your
huh?
husband's starting to lose his mind?
Yeah, no. I think that already happened.
Did you guys hear that? She thought that already happened years ago, I'm sure. All right. All right, folks, I had a great time. Hope you did too. And I'll see you guys on Sunday at 5 p.m. And then the plan is at 6:30 p.m. PST for both of these. I'll be part of the panel on the Four Horsemen, as will Dan McNew and Royce Eddings. All right, folks. Night. And by the way, blessings to each of you. We're past the hump here in America, right? We're looking forward to the weekend. May the rest of your week go as smooth as possible, and blessings to each and every one of you. Night, folks.